my book club made me do it. I don't know if I ever would have picked up this book if it wasn't for my book club, so shout out to the book club. So I'm about to start reading Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConney. I believe this is a thriller book. It was sent to me in the mail by my new job that we do a book club, which is really cool. So this is the book that we are going to be reading for November, which is really exciting. So yeah, I am kind of going in blind here. So from my understanding, Wild Dark Shore follows along two kind of characters. There's Dominic Salt, who is like the caretaker of 3 children in this little like island, and one day this like woman washes up on shore or something, and she kind of feels like, I don't know, I think she kind of starts to find like maybe she can imagine herself living there, like this guy's taking care of her, like all of that stuff. But then she notices that he's doing some kind of weird stuff like sabotaging radios, digging graves, and she's like, okay, wait, there's something weird happening here. And so I think that it's following 2 characters who have secrets from their past, and I think in order to kind of trust each other, they're slowly gonna reveal their secrets to each other. I don't know entirely what it looks like, but it seems like it's kind of like a mystery thriller, maybe a little bit of romance. We'll see, but honestly, that's all I really know. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, and to kind of give better context is the reason that I don't know much about this book is, like I mentioned, it's from my book club, but it was sent to me. I don't start the new job until next week. And so they've already sent me the book ahead of time, which was really cool and awesome. So all I know is that this is part of the book club, and I'm sure I'll learn more when I actually start the job. But yeah, I'm getting a head start, which is fun. So without further ado, let's crack this book right open. Oh, but wait, we know the drill. This has a dust cover and that needs to come off first. So I'm gonna guess that the book is brown underneath, and as always, I'm gonna hope for a pretty design. If I had to guess, something kind of like related to the sea, I hope. I don't know, let's find out. That's what I think it's gonna look like. Dun, da, da. Oh, it's purple. I love purple. But there's no design. I mean, I kind of dig the purple of this, to be honest. It would be better if there's a pretty design underneath, but I'll make do with this. So let's read this book for real. So I'm about 100 pages into Wild Dark Shore, and here are my thoughts so far. I find the writing style of this book a little bit hard to get into because it jumps around from first person to third person depending on which character we're following, which I find really jarring. And so it's just something that I'm like, oh, wait, what? What are we talking about? It also feels like at times that the book is too focused on sounding pretty than actually making sense, where there's times where I'm like, okay, that's nice, but like, what are you trying to say here? But there are also, on the flip side, there's a lot of really interesting vivid imagery, and just the setting of the book is really, really neat. It takes place in Antarctica, and there are a lot of seals and a lot of penguins there, and the way that the shore is like crushing against the rocks and stuff, like, I can really feel it, and I think that the setting is just really well done. And then for the characters themselves, we have an interesting cast of characters that are all hiding something. And so I am intrigued about the relationships and kind of their secrets. So where we're at right now is we're introduced to our main characters, and we have a pretty big cast of characters, which are the dad, the 3 kids, and then the woman who washes up on shore, Rowan. And so we get first person of Rowan and first person of Dominic, the dad. And then we get third person for the 3 children, Fern, Rafe, and Orly. And so Rowan washes up on shore, and she pretty much gets saved by this family. And the family's the only family on the entire island. And that's kind of weird because there were supposed to be a bunch of scientists on the island as well, because it's like a research facility where they're saving a bunch of seeds. So like if an apocalypse comes, you're still able to like grow stuff, and like that's kind of the research area. And these people, the only people who happen to be on the island right now, are the caretakers. And so Apparently all the scientists have left, and they have to basically move this facility elsewhere because of climate change. But like, it's kind of suspicious because like there's a lot of unknowns about like, why did they really leave? Why didn't they tell anybody that they're leaving? Like, what's kind of going on? And like, why can nobody contact anybody? And so Rowan immediately is like, okay, there's something kind of weird going on here, but I'm also just like super injured, and the little kid Orly is just like really cute. And so like these kids have lost their mom, and so Orly especially is kind of seeing Rowan as like a mother figure. And it's interesting because there's a lot of that kind of stuff happening where it's like Rowan is really the only adult female in the entire area, and so all the kids are kind of using her as like a surrogate mother, and then the dad is like still in his grief of like losing his wife, and like I don't think this is a romance at all. And so yeah, all the characters have secrets and stuff, and they're in a secluded island, and apparently nobody's coming for them for 6 weeks. So we'll see how that goes, and like what Rowan's goals are, and like what actually happened on the island with this family. Because I don't think the scientists left. I feel like the family like killed the scientists, but then I'm like, why would they do that though? I don't understand. So yeah, interesting stuff going on. The writing style is a bit hard to get into, but I think it has a lot of really interesting pieces that I'm excited to see how it kind of goes together. So I'm going to continue to read this book, and I'll update you around the halfway mark, so I will see you then. So I'm definitely more than halfway through, I keep forgetting the name of this book, Wild Dark Shore. And I'm not sure that I'm really enjoying this book, to be honest. And I kind of had that sense when I started it. Like, there are parts that I love. I love the setting of the book and the facts about the whales and the seeds and like how nature kind of works itself together. I love that. I think that's the best part of this entire book. But the mystery part of this book is really annoying me because all they have to do is just talk to each other. There's nothing I hate more than a miscommunication trope, and this book seems to be doing that whole miscommunication trope. It's like all you have to do is talk to each other, and like, why are you hiding these secrets that don't seem to make any sense to hide? It's just getting on my nerves. I'm like, just stop it. Just talk to each other. You'll solve 99.9% of your issues doing that. I also don't really find the relationships between the characters that believable either. I don't know, it just seems, I guess, too good to be true. Like, this woman washes up on shore and all these kids suddenly just like trust her and talk to her, and like, I don't know, it just seems too far-fetched for me. Which, I mean, it's fiction, it's supposed to be, you know, doesn't have to be the most believable thing ever, but I don't know, I feel like this has like some good pieces in it, but I feel like I don't like the execution of it. And it could just be, honestly, the writing style. I just don't mesh with this writing style at all. And for what seems like the book's not over yet, but it seems like kind of one of the reveals, is this really a mystery book? I don't know, like, it doesn't really feel like a mystery book. It feels more just like a literary fiction in a really cool setting. And again, I love the setting. I think that it's really great, but I feel like there's like some stuff that's just like, I don't understand why it's happening. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna continue to read the book, and we'll see if my thoughts change when I finish it. I don't know, but it always makes me feel bad, especially when it's a book that's like part of a book club, or like it's part of starting my new job, and I'm like gotta show up at book club and be like, yeah, that book, I kind of didn't like it at all. Like, what are they gonna think about me? So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna continue to read this book, and I will update you when I finish it. So I will see you then with my final thoughts and what I will rate the book. So I just finished reading Wild Dark Shore, and I did not like it. Believe me, I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it so badly, and it makes me feel extra bad because, like I've mentioned, it's for the book club. It was gifted to me, all that good stuff, and I'm like, I didn't like the book, and here's why. This book didn't seem to really know what it wanted. It wanted to be a literary fiction. It wanted to be a mystery. And it didn't really end up being any of those things. I didn't find the characters very well developed. I found them very one-dimensional. I didn't care about them at all. I did really like the set-in though. I think the set-in of this book was absolutely phenomenal. Like you could taste the brine, you could taste the salt, you could see the whales, you could hear the crashing of the waves. All of that was awesome. And like the whole theme about climate change and how that affects what we've been trying to plan for in the future, protecting these seeds, I thought was really solid. But the whole like kind of murder mystery part really felt disjointed from the entire story. I think that if it just focused on being a literary fiction about a woman who washes up on shore with the climate change theme and just kind of being this whole found family aspect of like the people on the beach, I think that would have been a much better story. But instead it gets overly complicated and like for no reason. And like the payoff isn't even good or worth it. For all of the mystery aspects, you get a bit of the, oh, there's a bit of mystery here, but then the next page it instantly reveals what actually happened instead of building up that tension. Like when one of the characters discovers something in the vault area, it's immediately figured out on the next scene why, instead of us as the reader being like, oh, like what could be the reason behind that, and just like the whole general mistrust and stuff. That would have been a better way to go about it, instead of instantly telling us, the reader, what happened, but the character in the book still not knowing what happened. It kind of ruins the whole mystery aspect for me. The romance also made no sense in this book. It was like, you don't trust somebody, but you're like super, super lustful for them, and then it's like an insta-love kind of vibe. It just didn't make sense to me at all. And the depiction of one of the characters' mental illness, I thought was just not handled properly. And like it felt like it was just like, oh, actually let's make this character even worse and worse and worse and worse just as the book goes on, without any other kind of like reason aside from just making you want to root for a different character, I guess. And the jump in between the third person and the first person was so jarring to me, and like I just didn't care about the kids' stories. Like I think that they're like, the set in itself was so good, but everything else just it didn't really do it for me. I did like the whale scene though, with the mom whale and the baby whale. That was a good scene. And I think if the book had more moments like that, more moments of the kids and Rowan kind of getting to know each other, and Dom kind of get to know Rowan a little bit more, and like all of that, I think it would have been better. But instead you get this weird murder mystery that isn't really a murder mystery, just random miscommunication throughout the entire book. They just don't talk to each other. Like all you have to do is talk to each other, and it's one of my least favorite tropes of all time. And this book as well, it's not even a longer book. It's like 300 pages, barely. And it took me like 4 days to get through this, and I was slogging along. This book felt like an eternity. Yeah, like there was just way too much happening in this book. And it just, the payoff, it was not even really a payoff. Like stuff just happened and it felt like a bunch of different scenes stitched together and calling it a book. And perhaps that's harsh, and I don't mean to obviously insult anybody or any author, but this book was just not it for me. And as somebody who does write books and somebody who's been in the content industry forever, it's like, I know how hard it is, and like it's like your baby and stuff. So like if I have to provide any kind of like feedback to this, it would just be to really figure out what you want your book to be. What do you want your book to be? Flesh out your characters a bit more, fix out the relationships. Like it seemed like the biggest thing that was going for this book was the setting and that kind of family dynamic. So instead of all this random murder mystery stuff that really didn't add anything to the plot, I would solely focus more in on that really interesting, richer aspect and get us to know and care about the characters more, and just kind of honestly remove the whole mystery part, because it just didn't do anything for me. And I think as well, just sticking with one point of view. I've seen it in other ways as well. Like sometimes it works really well, but for me personally, I just think it's confusing, and it makes you as a reader feel very disconnected from the characters and what's actually happened to them. Third person would work really well for this type of book when you want to focus on a bunch of other characters. But when you have first person for 2 characters and then third person for 3 characters, it feels really weird. And then it also kind of felt like it was pulling your leg the entire time about the whole like ghost kind of aspect, when nothing really came of that. So I'm definitely disappointed by this book. So today we're going to be awarding Wild Dark Shore a total of 2 stars. I hate having to give 2 stars. I really, really do. At least it wasn't 1 star though, so that's good. It's like a low 2 stars though. And for all of those reasons that I mentioned, like, it also, like, the blurb on the cover here, like, oh, this book's upside down, but like, in here, it talked about like the 3 graves and the power and like all the radios and stuff being cut out. That's not referenced until like the end of the book. And it's not even rewarded. So to me, it felt like this book was trying to be something it wasn't. And when you actually read it, you're like, oh, what is this about? And I think it's a similar feeling that I had with, oh, what was the name of it? The new Carrie Maniscalco book in her Throne of the Fallen series. Very similar thing where there's just too much happening in the book and too much of a disconnect between the reader and the characters and what's actually happening and any kind of like personal connection, that it just kind of made everything feel weird and disjointed. And obviously I hate disliking something and I hate not enjoying something, but this is my opinion. I know a lot of people did really like this book, and we'll see how my book club goes. Perhaps everybody at my new job likes the book a lot and I'm gonna be like, I didn't like it. I'm sorry, please don't hate me. But like, if you want to read it, obviously go ahead and read it. Like, don't not read something because I didn't like it. Like, you might like it. I just did not like it, and I think that it was a disappointment. So the next book that I'm going to be reading, which I'm hoping will be good, because anytime I read a book that kind of disappoints me, I try to reach for an author that I really like and whose books have done me no harm, except emotionally. And so the next book I'm going to be reading is We Love You, Bunny by Mona Atwood. This is the like prequel and somehow also sequel of her awesome book Bunny. So if you're interested in watching me read that, also I do have a video where I read Bunny for the first time, so definitely check that out if you're a fan of her work. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and with that, I'm going to wish you warm wishes and fish kisses, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!